all those nerds out there.
The Thomas Bryant jockstrap? Get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What y'all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Rob Watson. He's Nick Padone from his Bat Cave. The original squad back today, fellas. How we feeling?
Fantastic Four.
Rob?
I don't got much, man.
All right.
Me and Rob, I feel like, are both in a similar headspace this morning.
Why is that?
If you watched a basketball game last night, you're probably not too happy to talk
It's
sports
October,
today,
bro.
Bro, Rob, like, I'll be. That was it. Like that.
jumping
The
right
way
into
that they
it?
ended that second quarter
It's
to go into halftime,
October.
that was turn the TV off type bad. Like that was turn on the World Series. What am I watching? And then the fact that they outdid themselves in the third and fourth quarter. I mean, that's embarrassing.
We kind of just got cavalanched there for the last couple minutes of the second quarter.
Here's the thing, though, right? Like, to Ryan's point, it's October. It's one game out of 82 games. But against good teams on the road, they mail in these kind of performances too frequently. And, like, for Evan Mobley to receive all the hype that he had this offseason and to deliver that kind of performance against Boston, a team that you should be better than, it just stinks, man.
Well, we'll dive into the Cavaliers. I got some questions for my fellow ball knowers on the show. But before we do that, we got to talk about Cleveland Browns because they stink, but they can't lose this week. It's the good news.
That's true.
They are on a bye, undefeated in bye weeks. Fun fact. Jack, you have a couple questions here. After we do that, we're going to review the 2020 head coaching cycle, which, of course, was the year Kevin Stefanski came from Minnesota to take over the head coach job for our Cleveland Browns. Quite a good year in 2020, but kind of all downhill from there. But we start here, Jack. You have a couple questions for us. Do you want to read them or you want me to read them?
It's up to you, Ryan. You know, we're a democracy.
I don't know, Jim.
I'll go right
You
here.
have them up, so that works.
Far enough. Alrighty, fellas, if you can put a percentage on this, I know it's hard, but bear with me. The percent chance that we see a new quarterback under center for our Cleveland Browns, I'm going to go, Jack, you said next 3 games. I'm going to go in the next 2 games.
Okay, so you're doing the push-up? Okay.
Who are the next 3 opponents?
We're bye, then we're playing the New York Jets.
We're counting this week as a week? Or no?
No.
3 games. Jets?
2 games, I'm going.
I'd count it as a week. I'll be honest. I don't want to get clipped again. Never mind.
No, say it.
I don't like Kevin Stefanski said they're going to look at everything. In my mind, that should include the quarterback, right? Like in my mind, Monday, that's a fair question to ask Kevin at the press conference. Like you said, you were going to look at everything. Did you look at Dylan Gabriel? What do you think?
You know, when we looked at, and we'll get into the coaching cycle. When we look at this coaching cycle, guys, I expected to look at the names and be like, wow, we missed out on some. Kevin Stefanski at the time obviously seemed like the right choice. Maybe not so much as present day. There were not many good coaches in that coaching cycle. But before we get to that, last one, percent chance of an in-season change for the Cleveland Browns in terms of head coach position.
0%.
0%.
You guys don't think there's any way it could happen?
No. And I don't think we see Shador till Vegas or Tennessee.
Well, tell me why, Rob.
Either you get absolutely demolished at home by the Ravens, and that's what makes them make the change, or you get demolished at home by the 49ers, and they make the change then. Either one.
And then my thing with like making a change with Stefanski is I really think that like, and I know I said this Monday, the thing is if you fire Stefanski now, you're actually just creating another problem because I don't really think any of the other options are going to be better. And that's why like I'd be surprised if Kevin Stefanski gives up the play calling because you're definitely on the hot seat. Jimmy Haslam said that you can't win 3 games again. You're kind of pacing to only win 3 or 4 games. So if he gives up the play calling, like that's why you got hired. We're talking about the 2020 coaching cycle. Like they hired Kevin because he was a good play caller. That's your strong suit. So you go out on your sword. Like if you hand it off to Tommy Rees and it gets and the team gets worse, then you've effectively given up your strength. So that never really makes much sense to me. But I'm curious to see what happens Monday. Like when they're all kind of back in the building and all of this stuff kind of resurfaces.
Well, let's take a look at that 2020 head coach cycle in which we saw Kevin Stefanski become the Browns head coach. We know that was a very special year. Kevin Stefanski wins his first Coach of the Year award. Baker Mayfield leads the Cleveland Browns not only to the playoffs, but they head into Pittsburgh at the time's Heinz Field. Everybody knows the infamous start to that game. Pouncey snaps the ball over Big Ben's head. The Browns go ahead and win that game just to lose in the divisional round to the Kansas City Chiefs. But looking at that 2020 head coaching cycle, I'm going to read the list of names during that cycle, and basically you guys just tell me, should the Browns have hired him over Kevin Stefanski? Pretty as simple as that. We start here. 2020, the New York Giants, they hired Joe Judge.
Oh! No.
Oh,
Forgot about Joe Judge.
No.
that didn't
I
last
thought he
long.
was coaching in New England. He was the Giants coach.
He was in New England, then he became the
Yeah,
Giants head coach.
he was New England
He was
special
a
teams
special
coordinator.
teams
A
coordinator.
Belichick disciple.
Was he an interim at any point?
I don't believe so.
No, I think he just rolled in and he rolled right back out though, didn't he? Wasn't he a 1 year?
Bill Belichick disciples don't really work out as head
He
coaches.
was trash. Next.
All right, Ryan, next.
Next, in 2020, the Dallas Cowboys hired Super Bowl winning head coach Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
I think you could have a conversation about who you'd rather have out of that one.
Perhaps he could have helped Baker with the whole grow up thing that Kevin couldn't figure out. Like, I wonder if McCarthy and Mayfield would have worked. Yet at the same time, I don't think the Browns were really ever seriously even in on McCarthy. So I don't even know that that's like a conversation worth having.
Battle of mid splitting hairs. Next.
In 2020, the Carolina Panthers dipped into the college ranks, and they
No.
hired none other than Matt Rule, current
No.
Nebraska head coach,
Forgot about that.
potentially a favorite for one of the openings in
No.
Penn State.
Garbage.
That went
I'm
so
good.
bad for him.
Oh
That
my
almost set
gosh,
his college
is this-
career back.
Is this Urban? Is Urban in this?
No, I think it was next year.
God, man, it was some bad.
I think
coach
he was
hiring.
around that cycle though. I think there were rumors about him at the time.
All right. So far we've had no mistakes, and one you could have a conversation with Mike McCarthy. The last one in 2020, the Washington then Redskins hired Riverboat Ron Rivera, who, by the way, I believe 2-time head coach of the year and cancer survivor.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I could have gotten down with that one. I think he's always had a very strong public reputation. He's a guy who's been in football for a long time, so I think those hires always go through easier, even if they don't end up working out.
Yeah, but the game it was so evident right away that the game passed him by.
Oh, when he went to Washington,
Yeah, he was just
who was his quarterback?
He was just not that guy anymore.
Was it Heineke?
I think it was Heineke. Sam Howell was in there.
Oh wow.
What, that long
I mean, it
ago?
was all bad.
Who was their quarterback?
I think it's Heineke. Yeah.
I can't remember. Like, when did Kirk go to Minnesota? Was he there with
well
Ron
before
for a year?
COVID, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Kirk was in Minnesota with Stefanski.
Right. Okay. Well, all right. Well, we go to the CBS's top 6 names for the Browns opening, which there isn't an opening yet, but they're potentially.
They've already published.
No.
this?
This is from that search.
Oh, okay.
This is
I
from
was
that
about to
search.
say,
There-
I was-
okay. That
This
makes
was their at the time top 6 most likely names for the Browns.
They're just
Ryan, I thought that they already published
Oh,
that.
yeah,
this
like right
year.
now they're ripping him off already.
That would have been legendary. They're just getting ahead of the curve. I couldn't blame them if they
You
did.
know,
I mean, maybe it kind of ran through the back of my mind. I'm like,
wanna-
shoot, is
I
that
wanna
something we
do
should put up
this.
on the Sports Illustrated site?
I did just do a quick search. I want to see how much this matched up with who they said they brought in for interviews at the time.
Okay. So this was in 2020. My mistake. There's CBS top 6 names for the then current Browns head coach opening after the Freddie Kitchens experiment fails. They had Ron Rivera. They had Mike McCarthy. Obviously, Kevin Stefanski, the one who got the job. They also, I remember this very vividly, Robert Saleh was a hot name.
Yeah,
Obviously, he went to the Jets.
they interviewed with Saleh.
Urban Meyer.
Thank
That
God.
would have been the most like disaster hiring that I could have seen us actually doing.
Well, dude, because people would have been jazzed.
Oh, dude,
People
everyone would have been hyped,
so
Nick.
excited.
Everyone would have been hyped in Cleveland, taking down the Pine House.
And then the last one, how about this one? The Lincoln Riley. That one would not have worked out.
That would have been ridiculous. Just like looking at the way his career's gone out since, where you're looking at maybe even getting fired out of USC. But was he with
I
Baker
don't
in
know,
college?
though. I don't
Yeah.
know though
He was with
because
Pat Mahomes in college, too.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that element, Nick.
Lincoln Riley and Baker.
Yeah.
I remember talking about that once upon a
Yeah,
time.
that was like a big thing at the time.
So I just
What a wild 6 years it's been
This
to hear
is-
those names brought back up now.
2020, this is who they brought in for interviews, cleveland.com. We interviewed Greg Roman Eric Bieniemy.
Was Greg Roman a DC for the Ravens?
Ravens OC.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy, Chiefs OC. Robert Saleh, Brian Daboll, Josh McDaniels was a requested interview with Kevin Stefanski, Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh, Matt Campbell, Dan Campbell, Lincoln Riley, and Mike LaFleur. And Mike McDaniel.
Is that the Iowa State dude? What? Where the hell did he pop up in there?
He's an Ohio native, I believe.
Is he?
Yeah, man. It was a wide search. It came down to McDaniel and Kevin Stefanski.
McDaniel's
so I think you probably made the right call.
Matt
really.
LaFleur has a brother.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
But there goes to show, like, and it comes back to the Kevin Stefanski, like, is he built to be a head coach? Because, like, Josh McDaniel, a guy at head coach that is one of the worst head coach hires we've ever seen, but a phenomenal coordinator. Look what he's doing in New England right now. Like, I saw a video yesterday during the Browns game, the Keyshawn Booty, like, when he cooked at Denzel Ward and then the touchdown, like, he's a good OC. Some people
I
just aren't
think
cut out for
there's
being head
something to be
coaches.
said too with like head coaches. It's about fit. Like right now, like I think like there was a time where Kevin Stefanski fit Cleveland like a glove. You know, you mentioned it, Ryan. That first year was awesome. Like he helped turn this thing around. There's no doubt about it. But I think now we're kind of in the point where has that fit like run its course? Like has he lost his voice and is it time for a fresh voice? Because like there still could maybe a good head coach in Kevin Stefanski. Like in 2 years, he could go somewhere else and be a good head coach again. But there's like Andy Reid got fired from Philly. You know, like these guys, like sometimes you just need a fresh start.
Is there any name for you guys from the 2020 list that if Kevin does get fired after this year, you'd want to fire back up into the air?
No.
Yeah, Dan Campbell.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, I mean, if he wasn't coaching. Yeah, I was gonna say Kevin's about top 3 in every name we've listed. The only 2 where I would say I would have rather had the other coaches were Harbaugh and Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, let's talk about this.
McCarthy.
Let's talk about this because
So you're locked on McCarthy, Nick?
I think McCarthy. I'm not locked
He's
on
locked into
McCarthy.
Pat
I like
McAfee.
McCarthy because I think he's I think he's a CEO of an organization, and I really think that's like the path forward. Like you don't need like the next boy wonder offensive guru. You also don't need like a meathead defensive coordinator. Like just get a guy to be the figurehead of the organization and to create a culture, and then get good coordinators around him. Like that's kind of what I would do.
Let's talk about this because since the 2020 head coach cycle, how many coaches can we think of that have since been hired to teams that right now we're like certified they're better than Kevin Stefanski? I'm having trouble thinking of names like Dan Campbell.
Okay, wait. I actually was.
Yeah. Let me pull up the list of
it's
coaches.
hard. It's
But like,
hard to do.
all the great coaches that we hold in high regard right now were hired before that coaching cycle.
Well, Dan Quinn in Washington, I think you'd sign up
and
for
that's
that.
only 1 year of success.
McCarthy
like
is
Kevin
actually-
Stefanski had that not same amount because they went around further, but you know that's only 1 year.
I disrespected his game. I'm taking McCarthy over Stefanski.
For
Okay.
sure.
He had
I
three-
knew Rob would
three
change his
straight-
tune.
3 straight 12-5 years in Dallas, and got
And you
fired.
also,
I mean,
like,
Sean
you
Payton
just
was
get,
after
you get
Kevin.
you get that guy a good offensive
Right.
coordinator and a good defensive coordinator, and you're winning 10 games. Like, because he's a culture guy.
It was a top, but he's a better head coach overall.
But my
More
whole point is
sustained
since
success.
2020,
KOC.
I was gonna say Kevin O'Connell
Yeah,
was
Kevin
maybe the other one, but like
O'Connell,
since my point
Dan
is since
Campbell,
2020, have we-
Dan Quinn,
I don't know about Dan Quinn yet, but
I'm
Mike
taking-
McDaniel?
I'm taking Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh,
okay, yeah.
Sirianni's after as well.
Sirianni,
I don't
who
want
I think
Sirianni
is a
in
little bit of a
Cleveland.
beanbag, but I can't deny that he has a championship, but I don't.
I guess my point is there's not really that many head coaches that we could say the Cleveland Browns missed on by keeping Kevin Stefanski. Is my whole point.
Yeah.
But again, all it takes is one.
But then, like, at the time, if you look at the list of the people that got hired that year, you wouldn't have saw Campbell, and he was a next year hire. So then going
Right.
forward, there will always be more people that weren't in it. But they're always, if they're available now, they're still available.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you look at this cycle. Like, if you were to place Kevin now, like,
would
say,
put him
okay,
fourth
to
now.
answer the previous question, if they make a change in season, it'll probably be Bubba Ventrone or Jim Schwartz as an interim. But then, what do you do in the offseason cycle? Like, who do you go to? Like, what would be the list? Let's compile a list right now.
I mean, it's a bunch of retread guys. Probably Kubiak.
Did I hear someone say?
I've seen a lot of Norv Turner out there. He's an old dude.
Brian
but-
Flores.
He's 87 years old.
Isn't he super duper
We're
old?
not hiring-
Brian-
Brian Flores, would
Internet loves
he
him.
want this?
Right, exactly. Although I would say yes. But again,
All right, let me look
You
at
have a
these
guy. You have a
candidates.
defensive mind in Jim Schwartz.
And he was a Deshaun Watson guy. So, like, do we really want Brian Flores?
Bills OC,
and
Joe
that's the thing. It's like
Brady.
that's a defensive-minded head coach hire. That's probably not what we
Cliff
need right
Kingsbury a retread. They're saying Joe Brady, Bills OC. Chargers defensive coordinator. Kubiak, like you just
You
said.
could talk me into
Jesse
Cliff
Minter?
Kingsbury.
Arthur Smith a retread. Lions DC Kelvin Shepard. Packers DC Halfley. Brian Flores. Mike
You need an
LaFleur.
offensive
Mike
guy.
LaFleur.
Do you guys think
again.
Brian Flores will get another job?
now. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this: Is it overhyped for me to say that they need an offensive guy at head coach?
I would just friggin'
Just get a
find
good
Mike McCarthy and
coordinator.
hire him.
Just
Like,
get a good coordinator.
technically an offensive coach, yeah, but you still get him an offensive coordinator that's going to call the plays. Like, I really think if you move on from Kevin, it's that simple. Find a CEO of an organization that you can commit to for 5 years and then get them good coordinators.
Just give me a coach that'll coach. I don't need him to be offensive or defensive. Be a head coach. We were thinking about this offensive thing because we've got the offensive guru, but bro's been putting up 14 points per game for the last 2 years. Just get a coordinator and let him coach the offense.
Right, like if anything, I'm scared off of like any of the young offensive coordinators that Rob mentioned. I'm good on all of them. Like that was the hot thing in 2020. I would not go the boy wonder route.
When Mahomes, when he landed, and that was the new thing, and everyone was averaging 35 points per game. That's not it anymore. So let's just go back to the regular. Get you a good. I'm still on like a Flores. I would
like Brian Flores.
I think I'm intrigued by LaFleur's brother as an OC. I'm intrigued. He's been in with McVay at the Rams, and then I might even keep Schwartz if Flores and him could put their minds together.
That'd be
as
tough.
the head coach in DC. I think that's fine. And then let the dude handle the offense. Don't hate it.
All right. Well, we got to move on. Before we do that, I got to tell everybody about our great friends over at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford, Ohio is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the entire state of Ohio. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and they won't be beat on price by any other Ford dealer. So don't let a short drive to Canfield prevent you from saving thousands of dollars on your new dream vehicle. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing and same hometown level of service. Scan the QR code now or go give their website a visit, fairwayfordohio.com. That's fairwayfordohio.com. Guys, no surprise, it has been a frustrating Cleveland Browns season, to say the least. A lot of emotions they rise once the losses stack up, I should say. And sometimes we don't really know where to displace all of that anger / frustration / sadness. A lot of people do it towards the media. Nick Padone, yesterday you kind of caught fire on the Twitter streets for something you said about Isaiah Bond.
I mean, yeah, it was like, if you listen to the clip, I definitely said it, so I'm not trying to back off of it. Like, he's been bad. But the wider point that I was making was, how is Isaiah Bond the plan? Like, is there a more Andrew Berry wide receiver than Isaiah Bond? Every offseason, Andrew Berry goes into the dollar DVD bin, rumbles his hand around, and pulls out the worst movie that you would ever watch. Like, that's how he builds his wide receiver group. And to me, Isaiah Bond fits that bill. Is he fast? Yes. Do I see him downfield open when I'm watching the games? Absolutely I do. But it just speaks to the fact that he's on the field so much speaks to my wider point of being a GM is more than making draft picks. It's about building an actual roster. And Isaiah Bond is living proof that Andrew Berry is not great at building out a wide receiver position group. He's just not. We've got 6 years of experience that tell us that Andrew Berry struggles incredibly with that position. And Isaiah Bond is just the latest name, and people want to be mad at me about it. Be mad at me about it, but it's not Nick Padone that is 2-6 right now. I didn't construct a 2-6 roster, so you can be mad at me. But you're why are you booing me? I'm right. I'm right in this whole thing.
My favorite part about it all was people in the comments be like, Nick, did you watch Dwayne Bowe play? Did you watch these scrub receivers play? Isaiah Bond's not close to that level of
He's
scrub.
like so clearly hyperbole too.
Me and Nick even talked yesterday. We said we think there's a good player in Isaiah Bond, but it's just the mixture of guys we have, in that you're forcing a bunch of people to do what they're not good at. You're putting a bunch of square pegs in round holes. He's a guy that would be best suited being a third or fourth option to just run some deep routes on a team that's got two threats where you can't key in on him. And he's like our number 2 receiver, and sometimes the guy I feel like we target the most. So It's really just bad work. It's a terrible assembly of the guys. I think the guys have talent, but they're just not in the right spots and not being put in the right places to succeed.
Like, people were attacking me for this yesterday. The guy has 11 receptions for 123 yards. You would think, based off of my social media mentions, that we should be fitting this guy for a gold jacket. He's caught 11 balls. 11. They've played 8 games.
Oh Lord, it's gonna be a long half of the season.
But it's my fault.
It's always somebody else's fault.
I've got to be, guys. You know what? I've just got to be better.
You have to be better. It's in all phases. We have to look at every aspect of the game. And
Ryan, I appreciate the question, but I just got to be better. And you know what?
Mary Kay, we're not looking at it right now. We're not looking at it right now.
I understand it. It's
like
just
who we got in the receiving.
It's not where our focus
no,
is.
We like our guys.
We trust our guys. We trust our guys.
They've been doing everything we asked them to do. The receivers are getting better every week. They've done every single thing, every opportunity.
It starts with me up top.
And yeah, that's not my focus right now.
Nick, you've kind of been talking about this the last couple of days, and it's so true. Like everything in Berea, it's like Zombieland 3. Right, like there's no emotion, and I get at a position like that where emotion can overtake it.
It's dead.
Lifeless is a good word. You have to be even keeled. You have to keep a straight head on your shoulders. But this is a game that emotions are a big part of it, whether you like it or not. And guys that come into that locker room every day, the head coach is the main voice, whether or not it's conscious or subconsciously, they're kind of picking up what you're putting down every single time you step into the Berea facility, and especially on game days. And it is very lifeless.
And just in time for Halloween, this organization is dead. And it's embarrassing to me because I understand the history. Even pre-1999, this was a championship winning rich organization with Bernie Kosar and Hanford Dixon. They were always in the heat of playoff races and AFC championship games, and they were a perennial contender. And what we've gotten since those days is just a zombified version of what the Cleveland Browns were. And I see these screenshots going around with the PSLs, the private seat license for the season ticket holders, are going to cost over $50,000 for lower bowl seats. That ain't gonna happen. It's zombified commercial crap. The porcelain dogs that they run out of before the games, the guitar smash, all the gimmicks that they put together. It is truly zombified what once was one of the most historic organizations in the history of professional sports. When you think about the great legendary organizations of old sports times, when you think about Bill Russell and the Celtics in the NBA, and then in the MLB, you've got the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers. The Cleveland Browns were that in the NFL back then with Jim Brown and Paul Brown, and then even to the Sipe days and the Kosar days, and you've completely lost that. And this iteration that our generation of Browns fans are being tortured with is some zombified version of a great legendary team that has just been left for dead. And Art Modell probably does deserve a lot of that blame.
Nick, give me your first 3 moves in the offseason if they clean house with AB and put you up top.
I would hire a figurehead head coach that could be the CEO of an organization. So that's step 1. I would hire 2 really good coordinators. So I build that together into step 2. And then step 3 is I'd find a quarterback. It's a coach and quarterback league. So the fact that they didn't address quarterback this year, I'm sorry. Dylan Gabriel and Shador and Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett and Snoop Huntley for a couple weeks, that wasn't addressing it. It is a coach and quarterback league. Unless you have a coach and a quarterback, you have nothing. So if I own the team, I would find a coach and a quarterback, or I would die trying. And I know Jimmy Haslam, he's trying. He's tried everything. But I think the last thing that you can do is be complacent and say, oh, I've got to fix my offensive line and I've got to find a receiver. No, if you've got a quarterback, you can overcome some of that stuff. And it's not, you're not going to build Rome in one day. The Deshaun Watson trade was the worst in professional sports. We're living through the byproduct of that now. But unless you have a coach and a quarterback, you have nothing. And So far, have they showed you that they've got either of those things? I don't know.
Hell no. I also think, like, if you don't bring in a quarterback next year, Nick, to your point, there's a chance you're looking at the most anemic stretch of 3 years of football offensively of all time in the NFL. Like, you talk about how far we set the sport of football back with, like, how much we have to run the ball. Like, it's going to get worse.
Oh, that is not fun to hear.
And like, too, you look at, like, the QBRs and stuff. Like the Deshaun Kaiser, Kevin Hogan offense was better than this.
That's really hard to do.
We truly are in like zombie land.
I will
right
say
now.
again,
Like,
Deshaun Kaiser had arm talent and looked the part. He just threw a bunch of interceptions. I think he is better.
He loves a good jackpot ball.
If he had this,
is he better than Dylan Gabriel? Yes or no?
Yes,
Deshaun Kaiser.
yes.
If he had this team, he'd do much better numbers than Dylan.
Who's better?
He's a foot taller than
have
him.
more picks, but
Dylan Gabriel or Nathan Peterman?
never played for the Browns.
Yeah.
But trash. I don't care.
Kyle Orton.
What
I
I'm
think
saying
Kaiser-
makes
I think
sense. Like
Kaiser's better, though.
the fact that there are people that are just okay with all of this is insanity to me.
Well, one thing that's not insane is the Cavs losing on the road in Boston. We got to flip over to basketball, but before we do that, I got to tell you about our friends at Garage Beer, because Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste, and that's beer-flavored beer. So scan that QR code now or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that is drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, we're flipping over to the hardwood, fellas. Our Cavaliers drop 1 to the Boston Celtics in Boston. My question here, as I'll start, is what is the Cavs' biggest issue this season so far? Is it rebounding?
Man, where do I begin? The team's just simply still not tough. That's really just what it is. And in big moments, not to be that guy, but when the lights are bright, I'm just not seeing it from everybody. And you hoped the biggest disappointment right now is Evan Mobley. We heard all offseason about this jump. But really, I'm just seeing the same player, especially offensively. I'm even seeing him play like he's like Kevin Durant. I think Evan shot like 8 or 9 threes last night. And we did talk about how we wanted him to shoot the 3 ball, but probably no more than like 5 attempts. And especially on a night where you're not getting it going, you need to go to the basket. And he's still, I think it's mental with him. I used to call it like a weight room warrior, or someone who's like strong for nothing. Like, he's put on a lot of weight, but he doesn't have the mentality to play basketball aggressively. That first contact he gets, he stops all his momentum. He doesn't keep fighting through. He doesn't force the issue to go to the basket. He's still dropping rebounds and passes. Him and Jared Allen should. I wish the guards' turnovers would go to the bigs when they don't roll, or when they drop in open passes and they're being indecisive. And they open up games on their back foot. They're pump faking on their first post moves instead of trying to dunk on guys, take it through their chest and get and ones. That's really it. Just the whole team's overall timidness and lack of toughness is still just something that I'm seeing, and it's not been the biggest change, no matter who you bring in.
You're saying it's not we're going to get DG back and everything's peachy clean type thing.
I mean, it'll look better, but you need Evan Mobley to be a one-on-one scorer. And last night he was playing a guy who I had never heard of. His name was Josh Minot, who had a good game. He had played
15
this
boards.
is like his 4th year in the league, and he was a bench warmer in Minnesota for 3 of them. He picked the Celtics.
Only
picked him up
6'8", I believe,
off the scrap heap. And he
Behind
had
Naz
Evan
Reid.
Mobley absolutely clamped. Evan Mobley sitting on the 3-point line half the game trying to drive by this guy. He gets bumped one time. He stops. He picks up the ball. He's doing his head waves. He's screaming. Then he can't even hold guys off in the post. Like, we're trying to get him the ball on the block, and he gets pushed 8 feet off the block, and he can't even hold them off. Then we're throwing turnovers on inbounds passes. He tries to make a move. He can't even get to the paint. They just stonewall him. It's very bad, and he's been inefficient. It's not looking good. They've looked sloppy in the last 2 games I've seen, even though they blew out Detroit. It's looked sloppy. So many turnovers, guys, and then it doesn't help that the chemistry is not there. Lonzo's trying to get Jared Allen involved, and he's looking like he's not even expecting the ball. It's a lot of bad going on right now, a lot of bad.
I want to ask you guys, because one of the most hot button topics in basketball the last couple of years is the evolution of these stretch bigs. Like, there's no denying it. Like, Nikola Jokic, best player probably on the planet right now as we speak. Him, Shy, whatever. Top 3, undeniable. Won multiple MVPs. Guy like Joel Embiid, when healthy, one of the best players on the planet. Evan Mobley, the biggest topic of him, even going back to 2 off seasons ago, but especially this offseason, was this offensive development from Evan Mobley. You see Evan Mobley yesterday take 8 threes, I believe it was. I believe he made 2 of them. You look at a guy like Victor Wembanyama, obviously a stretch big, but he's taking less threes than he ever has. And he's become more efficient and a better player overall, and right now he's in the MVP discussion because of that. Do we have an issue with Evan Mobley taking 8 threes in a game?
Yes, if you make 2 of your first 7. I don't know why you're shooting 8. This is what I'm saying. He needs to get to the basket. I call it, well, my dad, when he taught me how to play the game, he called it a 75%er, and he's got the talent to be a true 75%er. When you take the ball to the basket, there's 3 good things that could happen, 1 bad thing that could happen. The worst thing that could happen is you shoot the ball and miss. The other 3 outcomes, you can make the shot, you can miss the shot and get fouled, you're getting free throws, or you can make the shot and get fouled. He's simply settling for these shots where he's shooting 30 to 40%. And he's a 7-footer with a wingspan that's about 8 feet tall. He could get to the basket. He could go through guys. And it's going to be a high percentage shot no matter what. And if it's not, you're likely getting fouled. Wembanyama this year is taking the step because he's bullying guys. He's not taking that first contact and getting stonewalled and begging for fouls. He's saying, I don't care. I'm going through him. I'm going to get to the basket. He's hell-bent on it. And that's why we're seeing him take that step. Evan Mobley just doesn't have the mentality upstairs to do it because he's stronger. He's more built than Victor. Victor's a slender guy. But it's all about how you approach the game and if you're going to say, I will not be denied. And Evan simply hasn't been doing that this year.
Nick, how much is it the fact that, well, the Cavs are missing 2-3 of their best 7 players, right? The fact that they're missing Darius Garland, the fact that they're missing Max Strus, the fact that now you're without Sam Merrill. And then how much of it is, well, this is who the Cavs are and have been. The fact that you're getting out-rebounded by the Celtics. The point of playing 2 bigs is you have a rebound advantage. Well, that wasn't the case. Celtics, by the way, heading into this game on Wednesday, not a good rebounding team.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of it. I really do, because like when you get your guys back, like you're thinking you're without Garland, you're without Strus, you're without Merrill. Like those are 3 guys that you're expecting to have come playoff time. Here's the caveat to that though. Like they haven't necessarily been a great bill of health come playoff time over the last couple of years. So you do have to find ways to win even when you don't have your best players available, because the Cavs have shown us that they've not been able to have their best players available. Like last night magnified the pressure that's on this team, because that's a regular season loss against the Celtics team that still is good, even though they don't have Tatum because of Jaylen Brown. But the fact that you lost that game, and we're talking about it here in October as a bad loss, like it just goes to show there's so much pressure on these guys to get the job done this year. And if these bad habits creep through to the postseason, it's going to be a world of hurt. And if these bad habits creep through to the postseason, you're not able to advance. Like, kiss the core 4 goodbye. Kiss this entire thing goodbye. Like, you're the only team in the second apron because you're supposed to be a team that's contending for an NBA championship. And if you fall flat on that again, it's over. So, like, I'd almost be operating under the guise of like that championship or bust mentality. And if these bad habits are still apparent at the trade deadline, like I'd look at a guy at Jared Allen and say, maybe you're in the way of Evan Mobley becoming that guy mentally that can be unlocked and that can change a game. Like I really think everything should be considered for the Cavs right now. And I'm absolutely, more so than anything, this start to the season just backs up my point. Like, it should have never been laughed at that the Cavs were trying to get Kevin Durant. It should have never been laughed at that the Cavs should have tried to reunite with LeBron James. Like, if you could get one of those guys that has a mindset of it is NBA championship or it's nothing. Like, I think Donovan has that mindset. Like, I think Donovan desperately wants to win that bad, but he hasn't done it. And I don't know that he's physically capable of doing it come postseason time. So the fact that like me and Rob got laughed at for campaigning to bring LeBron home, why? You need to win a title this year.
The sky is not falling, man, but Celtics are not a good team, and they had people who were borderline G League players starting this game. So
Garza.
no, I'm telling you, there's people that
Hawkeye
are
legend.
borderline. They were playing borderline G Leaguers. It's the sky is not falling. You're gonna have a puncher's chance, but I'm just concerned because I'm seeing the underlying issues that bringing back people who have been a part of those same issues is not going to fix. You're getting out
rebounded by that Celtics team. Like, I get the Celtics that beat you with Kristaps Porzingis. They out rebounded you in the playoffs a couple years ago. But that Celtics team bullied you on the glass. Uh-oh.
I just see the same inconsistencies. Like I've said, you look at a box score and you see a guy's average, but you win at the real mean. And our floors are super low where guys could just disappear, and we could have games where we got 2 7-footers and we get killed on the glass like that, and then they're not producing much. Those are the games that'll kill you in the league, because just like when you have bad nights, other people are going to have good nights. But you want to make sure your bad nights aren't as bad as theirs, and that's just something we haven't proven to do. And the team just seems to still have the same issues. And Darius Garland and Max Strus coming back aren't going to fix it. You're probably going to need to look elsewhere.
All right, we got to move on, but we are going back to the Browns because we do have an interesting quote from Shedeur Sanders. But before we get right into that, I got to tell everybody about Bloodview Haunted House. Guys, I can't believe Halloween is literally tomorrow.
Yeah.
One last chance to get in the good scares for a good cause. So if you're ready to get in the Halloween spirit, then grab your friends and head over to Bloodview Haunted House in Broadview Heights. You ask why? Because it's not just a haunted house. No. It's an interactive experience where the nightmares come to life. And the best part about it all, every single ticket that you purchase, it helps support local charities. Open, well, I can't really say Friday and Saturday nights anymore because Halloween is right around the corner. So go get your last chance to get scared at Bloodview Haunted House. You can get all the details at bloodview.org. Do it soon because Halloween is quite literally tomorrow. All right, guys, we got to talk about this Shedeur Sanders quote. It's going across social media now. We know the Cleveland Browns are on a bye. Shedeur Sanders, I'm not exactly sure where to attribute this, so excuse me, but Shedeur Sanders...
Twitch.
Okay, Twitch. His quote, he says, "I got to get ready, big ready." That's him saying he's going to stay in Cleveland during the team's bye week. Everybody's clamoring for Shedeur Sanders. Could we see him play? Nick, you've been saying you think he's possibly going to start against the New York Jets. Nick, you're muted. There we go.
I got muted there. I really think the door was left open for Shedeur Sanders to start. You see him making these comments saying that he's got to stay ready, he's got to be ready. I even look back to before the game against the Patriots, where he was a scratch. He wanted to play, he didn't. He put that black and white photo of him at Browns Stadium with Browns fans on his Instagram story. I don't know if he knows something that we don't, but I think he understands, like the rest of us do, that it's getting closer to happening than not. Like if Dylan Gabriel goes out there and struggles against the 1-7 Jets, you could be looking at a Shedeur Sanders game. I really think that it could be before that. Like I think when Kevin Stefanski said, Dylan Gabriel's the quarterback, we're going to look at everything. We're going to look at everything. That includes the quarterback. So I definitely would still give it, even if it's a small chance, even if it's a small fleeting chance like that, they could come out of this bye week and just make the decision to center a game plan around Shedeur Sanders and start him that first weekend in November against the New York Jets out there in Jersey.
I wonder if Kevin gave him like a "Hey Scout, you're on deck" type thing, and like that's where it came from. What do you guys think?
I mean, no pun intended, seriously, but
he'd be an idiot to not. I
it's
think
getting
he'd be
more and more likely.
an idiot to not like infer this.
It's and again, no pun intended, perfect timing. Like you're in your bye week. You've talked about how you want to specify, you want to install a certain game plan, so Shedeur's going out there on your best foot. Well, guess what? Now you have 2 weeks to do so. Not only that, but you're going against a bad team in the New York Jets who have plenty of their own problems. It's a bad defense. Shedeur could get some fat on it, and if you win, guess what? You get your first road win in how long? Talk about getting some juice for that
and
team.
You're only 2 games back in the division.
It's quite literally perfect timing to start one Shedeur Sanders.
Just put him in, man.
If you're Kevin, don't you want to save your job too? Like if we do 8 more weeks of this Dylan Gabriel crap, like things aren't going to work out. Like you're going to lose your job. You almost got to be ready if you're him to just bite it off and just make the move.
I couldn't.
That's all he has.
It's got to be it. It's as close as it'll be. I remember coaches telling me the same thing when you knew you weren't playing, but then this week they pull you to the side. They're like, "Hey man, it's possible. Like you knew it wasn't possible at one point, but now you know." So that's when you really tee it up. So it's like, all right, this is a chance. Whether it's at some point randomly or you just straight up says we're going with you. I'm getting the idea that Shedeur's got that talk, so we're as close to it.
And Rob, it's one of those talks like having had that, having been a guy on a team that's been at the end of the bench and that hadn't played, and when you get that message, even if it's one comment, one sentence in passing, it sticks in the back of your head.
Ready.
So like with Shedeur saying like, I gotta stay ready, I gotta be ready, staying in Cleveland, like
big ready.
We might be close, man.
Well, I sure hope so.
What if like Dylan Gabriel throws a pick on the first drive and they just do it right away?
That's where
That'd be so awesome.
I think we're at the point where he's now considering putting him in mid-game if it starts going.
Wow. I love that. And I'm curious to see how much of a leash Dylan would get within a game if that were the case.
But then, I guess at that point it's desperation, but then that goes against everything literally Kevin Stefanski has said about giving Shador time to prepare.
Yeah, it's the Browns. They do.
Or there could be he said he was thinking about giving up play calling. Tommy Reese would probably be more suited to put in a good game plan for Shador, more of a college style. Because
that's what they did last year. Like, that's the big piece of this. That report from Mary Kay that was ignored. Like, last year when Kevin gave up the play calling, that was Jameis Winston's first start with Ken Dorsey.
It made no sense. The whole reason you brought Ken Dorsey, or excuse me, was for Deshaun Watson. Like, and we wanted to see, well, is Kevin Stefanski good at calling plays? Well, we don't know. Well, we kind of know.
Which is why
you just didn't get a solid answer because as soon as he gave it over, well, that's when you got Deshaun out of it.
Someone said it earlier, I don't remember who it was, that he should want to keep the play calling to see if he gives it up in time. Someone said something about if Tommy Reese does bad, it would be bad for him. I think it's the complete opposite. If he gives it up again and Tommy Reese does good, that's going to be the worst for Kevin because it's the guy you didn't want to put in, especially if it's the case with Shador, and then you hand the plays off to another guy and then they do well. What reason do they have to keep you next year?
And that's even more so why they should just start Shador now, change the play calling now, and it's just too many variables. You don't know what would have went wrong the first 8 games of the season, but if it looks better with Tommy Reese and Shador, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to question the first 8 weeks. As long as it looks better and as long as you're making progress, that's all we're asking for here is a little bit of progress.
I would be seated at no, it's in New York. I would be seated at the next game.
We go? That's an easy flight.
Yeah, let's do it.
That'd be so fun.
If they announce him as the starter before the game, let's do it.
I'd be locked.
Fair enough. We might be in New York. All right.
Meadowlands.
To no surprise, we ran out of time before we could get to a couple topics, but that's fine. World Series is still going to go on. We'll have time to talk about it.
And Halloween's still tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do 2 drafts there. All right. Before we head out of here, though, Nick, we got to tell everybody about FanDuel because the NBA is here, and then we'll preview our FanDuel parlay of the day, and we'll head out of here.
Man, the FanDuel has been fun. Like, we are in the best part of the sports calendar for downloading this FanDuel app for betting on sports. You got NBA every night. You got hockey every night. You got some primetime football this evening. Don't forget about that World Series. But it's NBA tip-off week. FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You got to be 21 plus, present in Ohio, first online real money wager only. $5 deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions, they do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG.
All right, Jack, we're dipping our toe in multiple sports today as we have in the past. We need to see one go through. You know what to do.
Let's do it, baby. Okay, we're starting out hot with some Thursday night football action. The Ravens heading down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Zay Flowers heading into the end zone, starting us off anytime touchdown, and we're going to go with the over 51.5. We got 2 pretty stinky defenses in this one, Ryan, don't we?
Oh,
yeah, we do. We're going to get the points up there. PU. And then we got...
Jack, wait, Jack, Jack, hold on. You just unplugged your mic. You unplugged your mic. The back's out. Oh, what a start to a FanDuel parlay.
Pete stop. Oh, yeah, we're back. We're going to restart. Run it back. I can buy myself flowers. Hey, Flowers heading into the end zone. Anytime touchdown tonight for the Ravens. We're going over 51.5 in Fins and Ravens. Then we're heading on to the ice. Bruins, Sabres, we are taking Buffalo to go in on the road and win this Eastern Conference matchup. And then last but not least, Chef Curry to hit 4 made threes tonight. Once again, Zay Flowers, anytime touchdown, over 51.5 Ravens, Fins, Sabres money line, Steph Curry, 4+ threes.
Jack, it's called Miami Gardens. You know what grows in gardens?
Points?
Flowers.
Oh! Oh, yeah, we got. I can buy myself flowers.
Appreciate everybody tuning
Rob's
in
out. Rob's
to the
out.
Big Factory on the Big Play Sports Network. Shout out Fairway Forward. Shout out Garage Beer. Shout out FanDuel. Shout
What,
out
I said
Bloodview Haunted
points?
House because Halloween is tomorrow. Rob is so appalled that Jack didn't understand the flowers joke. Quite frankly, I am too. We'll be back tomorrow. Same people, same time. Till then, have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your Thursday. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.